So I was playing Dark Souls the other day. Granted, this is my first time playing through the first Dark Souls. And I got to the Gaping Dragon boss fight. And this boss isn't necessarily the hardest boss, but holy balls, man, this boss scared the crap out of me. I think the design and the size of the boss, it got to me. It scared the poo-poo right out of me, man. And this boss encounter, it got me thinking about something I've been kind of fascinated with lately, and that thing is megalophobia. Megalophobia is the fear of large objects. You know, people sometimes associate it with, cruise ships, large buildings, mountains, basically the scale of, like a normal sized human being to just really large objects. That's my really crappy definition of megalophobia. But this incident with the Gaping Dragon, it got me thinking about, megalophobia in video games. It got me thinking, what other instances have I been, fascinated and horrified by, large objects in video games. And yeah, it got me thinking, maybe I should make a video about megalophobia in video games, Let's keep talking Dark Souls. I think Dark Souls, and honestly the Soulsborne series, has megalophobia written all over it. From the towering landscapes to the, huge giant bosses. There's a lot of big things in this game that make you feel so small. And, playing through Dark Souls 1 for the first time, you see it in, Anor Londo, Sen's Fortress, seeing the landscape from Darkroot Garden. You're a small little pup in a huge world. Speaking of Sen's Fortress, I'm just taking a tangent right here. The level itself isn't that bad, but the pit with the tar and the demons is probably the most frustrating thing I've ever had to deal with, ever. I don't know whose idea this was, but to trudge so slowly with these giant bosses, I had to get this off my chest, okay? So thank you for humoring me. Megalophobia is not only present in, Dark Souls or Bloodborne, but it's all over the place. I think a pretty obvious example is Shadow of the Colossus. You play as this really tiny character in the grand scope of this forsaken land. And not only the land itself, but in the Colossi. And it's even more scary when the Colossi are in the water. I don't know, I have this thing with deep sea creatures and being abnormally large as well. Like, heaven forbid that the Kraken and Cthulhu are real, but even seeing pictures of them, it it scares me so bad. Megalophobia and, water creatures, that's present in, some games I played as a child as well. Like, doing this dentist mission in Mario Sunshine, playing that as a 7-8-year-old, I don't know what I don't know what they were thinking, man. And the same thing with Wind Waker and the giant squid monster that you randomly encounter. I remember the first time playing this as a kid, and I thought the game was broken. I don't know, that was the only thing that made sense as a child, and I was scared so bad. I probably peed my pants. I don't totally remember, but I just remember either turning off the game or doing everything I could to get away from it. It absolutely terrified me as a kid. And same thing with the Metal Shark and Banjo Kazooie. It's been, quite some time since I've played that game, but yeah, even just thinking about it, it brings back all of these, childhood memories of, gosh dang, that's pretty scary, man. Now that I'm, getting all of my childhood trauma out of the way, it's cool to look back on these things and, realize that you've overcome them, that you've beaten them. Like, I was thinking about that today before I made this video, like, yes, these giant things are present in video games, but think about how rewarding and cool it is when you overcome and beat those things. It's pretty nice, man. You know, like, it made me think about this experience I had. So I live in Utah, and there's a lot of mountains, and I've hiked some of these mountains, and there's one that I can see from my house today. It's called Box Elder Peak, and knowing that I've hiked to the top of that mountain and have come all the way down, I don't know, man. It's a nice feeling. It's cool. It's very fulfilling, and it makes me feel, again, makes me feel pretty cool. What can I say? And I think the same thing can be said for giant, scary things in video games. I think the point I'm trying to make is giant things in video games are scary. And they're cool and intimidating and beautiful and, you know, a whole mixed bag of stuff. But it's even cooler to know that you've gone through those things and that you've beaten those things, and you can pat yourself on the bum or the back or wherever you never mind, but you can look back on those things and you can tell yourself, I beat that giant, and it's pretty cool. I love video games, man. Thanks for watching. Again, thanks folks for watching this video. This was a fun one to make. It just kind of popped into my mind, and I was like, yeah, let's record something and make a video about this. It's obviously less scripted. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep, you know, writing well thought out scripts, or if I'm just gonna, you know, talk off the pooper like this and just tell you what I'm thinking straight out my brain. But I really appreciate the support. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm thinking I'll be coming up on 100 subscribers soon. I'd sure like to. You guys can subscribe if you want. But with that said, I want to do something kind of special for my 100 subscriber video. So I'm gonna post a link here. I just want you guys to ask me questions about video games or whatever, and I'm gonna do a cute little 100 subscriber celebration, whatever kind of thing, where you guys can just ask me questions and I'll answer them. Yeah, that's it.